Oh, I feel for Falcons fans. They went from thinking, hey, at least we still have Matt Ryan to, oh shit, we might be getting Deshaun Watson to, well, at least we still have Matt Ryan since we didn't get Deshaun Watson to, oh my God, we just traded Matt Ryan. Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Matt Ryan, gone. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm your football host, Brandon. The Falcons are officially in a rebuild, Perna, and today we'll break down this Matty Ice trade, what it means for the Colts and the Falcons, and Baker Mayfield's future, Jameis Winston signing with the Saints, and Jimmy Garoppolo's future. Jesus Christ, there's too many quarterbacks to figure out! Subscribe here for more football videos. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, and if you want to support this channel, you can buy my drugs, coffee, which is a drug. I want to be a drug dealer. Oh my God. BenchwarmerBrew.com, craft coffee. Sign up for the subscription service to get the cheapest available price for my really, really fucking good coffee. Okay, how will Matt Ryan fit in Indy? Well, I think this is a great move for Matt Ryan and an all right move for the Colts. It really just depends on if this is the plan for Indy or if they see Ryan as being a quarterback to keep them competitive while drafting and developing their future starter in April, and how much of their remaining cap space they invest in some ball catchers for Matt Ryan. They have about $17 million left after the Matt Ryan trade. Now, Matty Ice isn't expected to get a contract extension in Indy, but more of his money will be guaranteed in Indianapolis. All the Colts had to give up for Matty Ice was a third-round draft pick this year. The Falcons have signed quarterback Marcus Mariota. Sorry, I'm just doing a Roger Goodell impression of him saying Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota.
They have signed Marcus Mariota to a 2-year deal, which is a nice addition to help develop whoever they draft in this draft or help tank for whoever they want in the real quarterback draft in 2023. Interesting, though, that both Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, the first and second overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, both signed 2-year contracts today. In the most disappointing way possible, but they are employed. Marcus Mariota threw to nobody when he was with the Titans, which is why he's a fit with the Falcons. The connection in Atlanta for Mariota is head coach Arthur Smith, who was his OC while Mariota was with the Titans in 2019. This is the nicest thing Arthur Smith could do for Marcus Mariota since benching him for Ryan Tannehill in 2019. Now, Atlanta is in full rebuild mode, and they have the 8th overall pick, which they could trade back to, say, a later pick in the first to acquire more capital and still get the quarterback they desire. Or you just take whoever you are most high on at 8. Possibly an edge rusher who falls, or a premier tackle if they're available, or you just get your QB there if you love someone, or you can still get a quarterback in the second. I don't know how this draft's gonna work out is what I'm saying. Now the Falcons will take on a dead cap hit of $40.5 million, the largest in the history of the league. But they can afford it because it doesn't look like they're all that interested in winning right now, and that might be the right approach to all of this. Atlanta does have 9 picks to use in this draft, including 5 in the top 100. They're really not in a bad spot in terms of being in a rebuild. Do I think they will suck this season? Yes, very much so. But if that's the case, there are some good quarterbacks to be available in 2023. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and probably some rando who nobody sees coming this year. That or Cordarrelle Patterson adds quarterback to his repertoire. Here's where it gets interesting for Indy. Matt Ryan is coming off a season where, get this, he had shittier stats than Carson Wentz. Ryan threw just 20 touchdowns in 2021. Wentz had 27, and he tossed 5 fewer picks. Yet nobody thinks Carson Wentz is a better QB than Matt Ryan. Ryan will benefit, though, from being able to hand off to Jonathan Taylor. And as much as I love Cordarrelle Patterson and everything he did last year, it doesn't sniff the level of upgrade Matt Ryan gets in the backfield, nor the instant upgrade he gets to protect him with the line in front of him. In terms of staying exactly the same, Matty Ice will be throwing to an underwhelming pass-catching crew in Indianapolis. I like Michael Pittman, and I think Mo Alley Cox will see a lot more balls, which is the only thing a guy with the last name Cox could be missing. The other thing missing? A first-round draft pick for the Colts to massively upgrade the receiving position. Luckily, there are guys like Sky Moore, Traylon Burks, Jahan Dotson, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, and fingers crossed George Pickens, who might be available late in the first or early in the second, where maybe Indy can move up to grab. Indy also needs to make a play for a receiver in free agency right now. Somebody like Jarvis Landry, MVS, or dare I say, a reunion with Julio Jones. Julio and Matt Ryan back together in a Colts uniform, like watching Gronk and Brady reunite in Tampa. I would like to see it. Now the Colts will provide Matt Ryan with something the Falcons only gave him once: a real defense. And that makes me curious about this move for Matty Ice. I think lost in all of this is the fact that the Colts have replaced the Broncos as the #1 team worthy of the quarterback carousel graphic. The Broncos might get the merry-go-round treatment one more time with Russell Wilson at the end of it, but it's on the way out. Instead, Indy is the perfect carousel team. Congratulations. Since 2017, Indy has started week ones with Scott Tolzien, Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, and now it'll be Matt Ryan. That's 6 different day one starters in 6 years. I'm sorry, Colts fans, but I'm officially passing the torch, and I'm giving it to you flame first. Yes, your hands will burn, but they will be cleaner than the Browns' hands right now, and that's all right. For the AFC, this is just another good quarterback hitting the scene in a loaded conference. It's crazy to say this about a former MVP and a guy who I still think is pretty darn good, but there's no way Matt Ryan is better than Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, or Deshaun Watson. Although he is better than a suspended Deshaun Watson. By my count, that makes Matt Ryan a middle-of-the-pack QB in the conference. But the Colts, they're in a division with Ryan Tannehill, Trevor Lawrence, and Davis Mills. So the door is open. The door is wide open for Matty Ice. It's not exactly a murderer's row of signal callers like the AFC West.
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, OJ Mahomes.
Or AFC North. All they need to do is win that division and pray for some luck in the playoffs. And Matt Ryan can get you there. While Ryan may only be better than Trevor Lawrence in his own division, I don't trust Houston to rally around Davis Mills, and if the AFC North and AFC West cannibalize themselves, a second-place finish in the South could also sneak the Colts into the playoffs, assuming you can actually beat the Jags Week 18 this coming year. And that's really just the bar for the Colts, right? Can you beat the Jaguars to get us into the playoffs, Matt Ryan? Yeah, pretty sure I can do that. Now, there is a loser in this trade, but it's not who you think. The Colts, they got an upgrade, in my opinion. The Falcons get a much-needed chance to hit the reset button, but the guy who gets the short end of the stick is Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield.
I'm happy she's renovating her kitchen, but if I have to hear about subway tile one more time...
I know, right?
Mayfield expressed his desire to join the Colts, a competent team with a good head coach and talented roster. Now Mayfield is staring into the abyss. His options are a sketchy Panthers team, who are reportedly interested in Baker, and the Seahawks, a team that should be rebuilding, but they're clearly in denial after the Russell Wilson trade. Those are really bad options when the Colts were previously on the table as a QB-needy squad. And speaking of tables, it's almost like if Baker Mayfield to the Browns was like, Hey, mommy, can I have one of those freshly grilled ribeyes I see sitting right there? And mommy said, no, you're not an adult yet. You can have something even better. here's some Beyond Meat. Now shut the fuck up and go back to the kids' table or your dad's going to leave us again. Weird metaphor, but true. Now the Saints are certainly a wild card, but they may prefer to bring back Jameis Winston. And literally as I was writing those words for this video, the Saints re-signed Jameis Winston on a 2-year deal. That's how much they were not in on Baker, making the Saints the second team in a row to choose a man accused of sexual assault over Baker Mayfield. Hey, Baker Mayfield is interested in joining the team. Okay, but are there any quarterbacks available who have been accused of sexual assault? I would rather go that route than take a chance on Baker Mayfield.
Stop it again?
Now, as I mentioned in my last video about the Deshaun Watson trade, the Seahawks are the one team with genuine interest in Baker. As stupid as the Seahawks are, that might be the best fit for Baker. Baker was actually one of the rare examples of a first overall draft pick uplifting a dogshit organization and getting them into the postseason. Now maybe he plays his best football when everyone is running around like a chicken with their head cut off. Send him to Seattle, Cleveland, and let Pete Carroll run the ball 35 times a game and ask Baker to throw it 18, mitigating his interceptions and maximizing DK and Lockett's talents to catch deep balls. If you couldn't do it with Russell Wilson, certainly you can do it with a far less athletically gifted quarterback, Seattle. Side note, maybe Jarvis Landry is still a free agent just so he doesn't accidentally choose a team that does trade for Baker Mayfield. Maybe. Now the other loser, of course, is Jimmy Garoppolo, which is weird because over the last 3 seasons, he's the most winning QB who was available. Even more bizarrely, he too had shittier passing stats than Carson Wentz, almost identical to Matt Ryan's stats. So I guess there's no bigger loser than Carson Wentz, who was dealt to the absolute worst organization in the NFL. The Panthers could be interested in Jimmy Garoppolo as well, but fuck, man, I don't know who's going to look at Baker or Jimmy and think giving up anything to acquire them is a better option than drafting a QB in about a month, except for the Seahawks. And now that I said that, I'm sure Baker and Jimmy G will be dealt before the draft. But if I were an NFL GM, I would wait for the draft. If you don't get the quarterback you like in this draft class, you know you can make a move for Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo. And it's just really perplexing that Jimmy Garoppolo is one of the last men left standing in the quarterback free agency frenzy. I mean, he's been to a Super Bowl. He just got to a championship game. He's incredibly good looking. When you think about it, another guy who was very good looking, very good at his job that nobody wants to touch, all I can think of is Ted Bundy. Jimmy Garoppolo, the Ted Bundy of NFL quarterbacks. How many people could a quarterback kill if he was still really, really good at football? That's the real question. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports Matty Ice trade episode. Don't forget to watch more of my videos. Otherwise, YouTube will erase me from existence. That's how they get you here at YouTube. Oh, here's a little success. But if you stop, you'll be gone.